You
We
cannot
don't
take
want any risks in production. We want our banks working. We want our cars driving. We want our warm water coming to our house when we need it. So we don't want experiments, with water pipelines or anything like that, right? What we want is
exactly.
exactly. Yep.
Exactly. So basically, the experimenting team or exploration team, as we call it as well, will validate either the technicalities, the technology, or the new markets. And once this is validated, then you've got and you have defined the prototype that works and so on. Then you give the baby to another team that will increase the quality, such as it could be deployed for people in production. Okay, so basically you've got three kind of teams. You've got the explorers experimenting and validating the ideas, then the team that is getting ready for deployment, and the production team, which is using the output of the deployment team. If you do that, you've got a pipe. You've got a pipe from exploration to production, and decreasing the risk, because of course you don't want to break production. So it could be new products, it could be new services, it could be new processes, whatever. Anything that is validated then becomes something. Now, if you don't have any exploration team, what could happen? The guy who is trying to go twice faster in the boat, we could tell him, okay, guy, you are toxic, you move out. He could create his own startup.
And they do. And they do.
And they do.
Yep.
And they do. And this is exactly what is happening in companies where you don't have any culture of innovation, or actually a fake culture of innovation. We could speak about innovation washing, where people will get frustrated because their ideas cannot go through. Nobody wants to test them, and they say, okay, you know what? With what I know, what I've discovered, nobody wants to listen to me inside the company. Not a problem for me. I will go outside. I will find some investors if I need, and I will pursue my idea. What usually happens is that those people have kind of validated their idea some ways before, and when they go out of the company out of frustration, they know exactly what they are doing.
Beautiful.
And it's and it's a miss in that case. So it's how to in that case, it's how to create from a frustrated innovator inside such companies a successful entrepreneur. But not everyone has this capability of becoming an entrepreneur. So you've got many frustrated people inside companies today because they have this feeling they cannot express themselves. And since they don't have the entrepreneurial spirit, they will prefer to stay in the company and to shut down, such as they can survive in their business, in their job, actually.
But that's bad. That's bad for people's health. That's bad for organizations. That's bad for society, because more disengaged people you have, people who work 9 to 5, they don't care about what's happening around them. That stumbles our, collective progress. So let's leave the message out there, Philippe, how to avoid, because many organizations, they're somewhere in the middle, right? They're not very innovative, and they're not hopefully horribly retro, right? Yeah.
And this is where the management and when I say the management, I should say the CEO of the company has a huge responsibility. I worked with a Japanese company called Sony.
I've heard of them. Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. So Sony, the way it was handled was it was interesting because the validation of a product was done in Japan, in the Japanese market, and once the Japanese market wanted to buy it, then the product was as well sold and marketed in other regions like the US or Europe. So this is the way historically Sony has been working. And since they were speaking about the products already when they were marketed in Japan, but they were not yet available in the US or in Europe, people were making fun about Sony by saying Sony means soon or next year. Okay, because the products were not coming that fast. Anyway, the former president of Sony was the guy who hired me actually within Sony, Kunitake Ando. He told me one day that the fish always roots by its head. And I'm not
Yep.
sure I'm using the right translation here.
No, in many
Anyway,
cultures there's this saying. Yes, of course. Yeah. Makes sense.
Okay,
Yep.
so it means that you've got a duty
Yeah,
to show the
leadership, right?
example.
Leadership duty,
Exactly.
right? Yep.
It's a leadership duty to show the example. And if you are showing a bad example as a CEO, it will spread inside the company as a bad example. Because when people look at the CEO and they say, oh, he's doing that, okay, we will follow, no problem. At the same time, if the example is good, like you've got some values in the company and you are respecting the values and you are very strict about respecting the values, then people will follow as well. So the mission of the CEO is definitely to create the innovation culture, not only by saying things about the innovation culture or saying things about the innovation, but some facts. Typically, I was speaking about having some exploration teams inside the company, or the innovation spirit, meaning that anyone can express an idea and then we could discuss how to validate the idea. If in the facts nobody is doing it, then it is fake. So the CEO has to be very, very cautious about the fact that any innovation direction he's giving is translated into facts, into budgets, and into actions.
There's this saying, do as I say, not as I do. Yes, so listen to what I'm saying, but never mind what I'm doing, actually. And that actually applies for everyone, for CEOs, for parents, for
Exactly.
every leader out there. Yep.
Exactly. And I've seen so many examples of that in my past career of people that were saying what to do, but not doing it by themselves, that they are losing credibility. Furthermore, I mean, if you are a CEO and you have a strategy, you have a vision. Let's say you have a vision, okay, for your company. And based on that vision, you are establishing a strategy. By definition, you have a strategy of expansion, of innovation, whatever. If you want to show that innovation is important for you, you could say, you know what? The strategy we have decided with maybe the executive board should be tested as well with experimentations. And by doing that, he will get the respect of the employees of the company because he's showing that himself is showing that, you know what, I might be wrong, and let's experiment to find a way. And we will find a way towards the vision. Maybe the strategy we have decided is not the right one, but in that case, we'll find another one. And if we experiment, then we'll find a way.